right, we are here on the Trent Acid Tribute Radio Show, and on the line with us, we have Missy Sampson. Missy, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay today. How are you guys doing?
Well, we've been saying this a lot, but I wish we could be speaking on different terms. Of course, we are here not to mourn the loss of Trent, but to more celebrate the life that was Trent Acid, or Michael Verdi, as some may know him. And we have a couple of questions for you, if you don't mind. We'll go ahead and get started.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
What do you think, and of course you were Trent's friend, so what do you think Trent wants his fans to remember him most for?
I think Trent would probably want his fans to remember him most as somebody who was so full of life, had a tremendous sense of humor, and a work ethic in the ring that is probably hard to find in most other people. He's somebody who always went out there, no matter what he had going on in his life. He always went to the ring and tried to give, 150% to the fans that paid for tickets. He was always of a philosophy where he didn't care if there were 500 people in the building or 5 people in the building. He always went out there and put the same work ethic into every match that he had. And I think that's what he'd like the fans to remember.
That's a good thing, for fans to remember him by. He went out there and killed it, like you said. He would go out there and give it his all, whether it was his body or everything he had, physically. My next question for you is, what stuck out to you most about Trent?
Oh, Jesus. Are we talking about Trent or are we talking about Mike Verdi?
How about both? How about inside the ring and personally, being that you know them both?
Okay. Again, what would stick out to me is his work ethic. Here's a guy who legitimately valued every fan in the building and the money that they had paid to come see, him and everybody else perform. He was always very aware of the fact that, especially lately with the economic times that we're having, that this was people's, hard-earned money that they were spending to come, not just be entertained, but support us in doing what we love to do. And he was always very conscious of that. And he would always say, you have to do it so that the fans in the back can see it too, because, those fans paid, their good money just like everybody else. So professionally, again, it would probably be his work ethic that sticks out to me the most. Personally, I would say what sticks out to me the most was Mike Verdi was a viciously loyal friend. I've been getting thanked a lot recently for quote-unquote everything I did for him. People don't understand that, I got back into friendship a lot from Mike. Last August when my dad died, he was the first person I called when I left the hospital. My dad had passed, and he literally dropped everything he was doing, and he was living with me at the time, but he was not home. Dropped everything he was doing and came home to be with me, and literally didn't leave my side for about 24 hours. Literally would not let me go anywhere without him, to make sure that he was here for me. In December when I had to have heart surgery, he woke up early and came to the hospital with me. Was there right before I went into surgery, and literally was the first person I saw when I woke up in recovery. He was sitting next to my bed, holding my hand, rubbing my arm, telling me I was going to be okay.
Wow.
So, for all the funny stories we can tell, there was a real, genuine person behind the character or the name that you see put out there.
Now, if you were to write a book about the life of Trent Acid or Michael Verdi, what would you call the title?
Which is funny. Me and Johnny were talking about this the other day, that between me and him and Nick Burke, we probably could write, Trent's autobiography. God, what would I call it? I have so many, all I could think of at the moment is so many little funny one-liner little quotes that were his. We could probably call it "Leaves the Ships." I don't know. Can we curse on here?
Yes, you can.
Oh, okay, good. Whew. We could probably, call it "Let Me Find Out." I mean, he used to have these little random quote things that would just, the middle of nowhere, he'd come up with something out of his, out of nowhere. So, I would really have to put some thought into that, into what we'd call the autobiography of Trent Acid.
Now, my co-host, who is on the line with the missionary, has a couple questions, so I'm going to let missionary go ahead.
Sure.
Hey, Missy.
I'm listening.
I'm hanging in there. Trent Acid's crowning achievement or his crowning moment in his career, in your opinion?
Oh, Jesus. Ooh.
Didn't mean to stump you there.
Jesus. God, next time I'm doing an interview with you guys have to send me the questions ahead of time. Yeah, I feel like these are great questions, and I just feel like I'm unprepared to answer them. If I had to pick one, I would say probably any one of his multiple trips to Japan. I know he was really proud of that. He actually won and retired the Big Japan, I think it's cruiserweight or junior heavyweight title belt.
Right.
And as a matter of fact, technically he still owns the belt. He did, in fact, give it to his little brother. And I know he was always so proud that he was able to not only keep the belt, but give it to his little brother. So I'd probably say that's his crowning achievement, only because I know how much it meant to him.
Right.
To be able to give that belt to his little brother, and I know how much it means. Me and his little brother were talking about it Wednesday at his wake. So I know how much it meant for him to be able to give that to his little brother, and I know how much it means to his little brother to have it. So I would probably say that. What
was Trent's biggest goal in life?
Trent's biggest goal in life was, I know he wanted to get. He plays music. He used to play music. Well, it's so hard for me to speak of him in past tense.
Right.
But, he had a childhood friend that he grew up with by the name of George. They had started a band called Human Slate. And I know that, recently, in the past year and a half, he really wanted to dedicate himself to his music. I mean, I can understand that most people here have not heard him play or have not read or heard any of the songs that he wrote. I, on the other half, was blessed for both. He wrote a lot while he lived here, and he would always, let me read everything that he wrote, where I'd come home from work and he'd be jamming by himself in the living room on his guitar. I know his music was very important to him. And really, I'd say his life goal was, he wanted to actually get signed to a label and produce music and go on the road. That was his big ultimate dream.
What kind of music did he play, just out of curiosity? Because we've already heard some people say that he was like influenced by Pearl Jam and stuff like that, but I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, Pearl Jam was his favorite band. He would play rock. I mean, he would play rock and roll stuff. Stuff that was influenced by people like, Pearl Jam or the Ramones, things like that.
Right.
So that's what he would play.
What's the one thing about Michael Verdi you'll miss?
You guys are gonna make me cry answering this.
I'm sorry.
Everything. I'm gonna miss everything. Here's somebody for the past year and a half. Sorry. Here's somebody that for the past year and a half was almost a daily part of my life. Even when he got arrested this last time, and when he went to rehab this last time, he would call me almost every day. Like, here's somebody I spoke to even when he wasn't living with me. This is somebody I spoke to almost every day. This is somebody who has become ingrained so much in my everyday life. I'm going to miss everything. I said to his sister the other day, when Mike lived with me, and actually come think about it, even when he didn't, it'd be the stupid little things like he'd get stuck somewhere and have to call and ask me to come get him. And I said to his sister the other day, I'd give anything for him to just call me and tell me he's stuck somewhere and I have to come get him. So that's what I'm going to miss most. I'm going to miss everything.
Thank you, Missy.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming on and, taking your time out to share some memories of Trent with our fans.
Well, thank you for having me. And again, I just want to really quick take this opportunity to thank, his fans and his friends, and everybody who is, signed on to come to Acid Fest July 10th at the arena, bell time's 2:30. everyone who has, made really nice graphics in regards to him, has written really wonderful things about him, has been there as much as they possibly can to try and support, myself and Johnny, Nick, the rest of, Homicide, the rest of his close friends. Like I said before, sometimes we can't answer everybody.
Right.
We all have a lot going on with us right now, but we are reading what you're writing. We see the pictures, we've watched the videos that you've made, they're actually really wonderful, beautiful things. So I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank everybody for that.
And we thank you.
No. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.